We're ranking the top 10 English whiskey brands, from worst to best, showcasing the wild diversity of flavor and innovation you will only find south of the Scottish border. From experimental bottles that split opinion to rising stars and world-class icons beating Scotland at its own game. This list separates fascinating misfires from modern masterpieces. Which distillery claims the #1 spot? Let's kick off the countdown with number 10. Adnams of Southwold started as a legendary brewery on the Suffolk coast, but their jump into whiskey is anything but traditional. Instead of using classic distiller's yeast, they stuck with the same brewer's yeast that made their beer famous. The result is a whiskey that is loud, energetic, and unmistakably yeasty, sometimes even vegetal, with a kick that splits opinion at every tasting. Some call it innovative, others say it is just too much. Adnams whiskey feels like a brewer's experiment set loose in a distillery, and that boldness lands it at the most polarizing spot on this list. East London Liquor Company brings a different kind of energy to English whiskey. Born in the heart of East London, this brand took off thanks to early crowdfunding and a wave of urban enthusiasm. Their flagship, the London Rye, breaks from tradition with a mash bill heavy on rye, something the old Scotch rules would not allow. The result is a whiskey that is spicy, full of raw leather and chocolate notes, and built for mixing. It shines in cocktails, where that peppery bite cuts through, but as a neat pour, it can feel a bit rough around the edges. Affordable and approachable, the youthful spirit keeps it further down the list. In 2006, whiskey production returned to England for the first time in over a century with the opening of the English Whisky Company at St. George's Distillery. The journey was not easy. Founders James and Sarah Nelstrop spent years pushing through licensing hurdles and government doubts over whether English whiskey could meet the standards set by law. Their perseverance led to the original and the smoky, two signature bottlings that set a new benchmark for English single malt. Both are known for a clean, grassy character with gentle vanilla, offering a safe and approachable profile. This reliability made St. George's the foundation of the modern English whiskey revival. However, its conservative style means it lacks the bold punch found in some of the newer names on this list. Spirit of Yorkshire, makers of Filey Bay, take full advantage of England's open rulebook on whiskey production. Their approach is all about precision. Instead of sticking to just one type of still, they run their spirit through both a column still and a pot still. This hybrid setup produces a whiskey that is remarkably light, almost airy, with a creamy texture and gentle notes of peach and vanilla. Filey Bay is often called the breakfast whiskey. It is that delicate. Every drop feels carefully engineered, showing off the kind of craftsmanship that comes from tweaking every variable, from still shape to distillation speed. While some whiskey fans crave a richer, oilier texture, Filey Bay's ultra-clean style appeals to those who appreciate subtlety and technical mastery. It stands as a showcase of what is possible when distillers are free to design their own path. White Peak Distillery, known for its wireworks whiskey, stands out for transforming a crumbling Derbyshire wire factory into a hub of modern English whiskey. Their approach is anything but ordinary. Light peat smoke weaves through the spirit, but instead of heavy earthiness, it is balanced by flashes of banana, chocolate, and a surprising fruitiness. Critics call it fruit salad in a bonfire, and that is not just marketing spin. This is the first English malt to make peat feel playful rather than brooding. In 2025, Wireworks captured the World Whiskies Award for Best English Single Malt, proving that bold experimentation can win over even the toughest judges. The whiskey's youthful energy keeps it just outside the top 5, but its creativity and critical acclaim make it a rising star and a sign that English peat has its own story to tell. Forest Distillery takes a different approach to English whiskey, blending its own youthful spirit with carefully sourced, mature whiskey to achieve a richer, more layered profile. Each bottle stands out immediately, heavy porcelain in deep blue or white, designed to feel as luxurious as the contents inside. The whiskey itself draws much of its character from aging in old weaving sheds, picking up earthy notes of moss, damp forest floor, and toasted walnuts. This is a house style that leans into the natural landscape of the Peak District. The result is smooth, refined, and undeniably premium. But that luxury comes with a price tag, often double the cost of other English malts at similar ages. For some, the blend of in-house and sourced spirit delivers complexity that rivals the best. For others, the steep price makes it a bottle for special occasions, not everyday enjoyment. Forest lands just outside the top tier, balancing craftsmanship and exclusivity. Tucked away in the Yorkshire Dales, Whittaker's distillery operates on a scale that feels almost personal. This is true family craft, where each batch is made in tiny runs and every detail is handled in-house. Their single malt stands out for its dessert-like richness, layers of sticky toffee pudding, dark malt, and a gentle sherry influence that gives the whiskey both depth and sweetness. While most English distilleries chase innovation, Whittaker's leans into classic flavors, coaxing out a dense, almost chewy texture from their spirit. In blind tastings, it has beaten bottles from much larger producers, earning praise for its balance and complexity. For those who want proof that small-scale dedication can rival industrial might, Whittaker's is a quiet powerhouse, rich, distinctive, and a clear step up into the world-class tier. Cotswolds Distillery stands apart for its dedication to both science and flavor. At the heart of their process is the STR cask, which uses shaved, toasted, and re-charred red wine barrels. This technique was pioneered by Dr. Jim Swan. By removing the tired inner layer of the cask, then carefully toasting and charring the wood, Cotswolds unlocks a rush of jammy strawberry, honey, and red fruit notes that saturate their single malt. The casks themselves work double duty. The toasting brings out sweet vanilla and caramel, while the char strips away harsh tannins, leaving a firm but rounded structure. To guarantee consistency, Cotswolds uses 2 different yeast strains during fermentation, one for reliable alcohol yield, the other for bright, expressive fruit character. The result is a whiskey that is as dependable as it is vibrant, with a flavor profile that is instantly recognizable and widely available across the UK. For many, this is the bottle that defines modern English single malt, fruit-forward, textured, and always on the shelf. The Lakes Distillery stands as the sherry bomb of English whiskey. Under the guidance of Dhaval Gandhi, who brought his expertise from Macallan, the distillery has built an obsessive program around sherry cask maturation using both Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez seasoned Spanish oak. Gandhi's approach is holistic. Every cask is hand-selected and managed, blending multiple sherry types and oak species to coax out deep layers of flavor. The result is a whiskey with a striking mahogany color and a palate that bursts with dried figs, cinnamon, orange peel, and a wave of rich polished oak. The texture is luxurious, silky and mouth-coating, but not as waxy as the rarest bottlings at the very top of this list. The Lakes releases are snapped up quickly, with allocations often gone before they hit shelves, and prices on the secondary market soaring. For many, this is the bottle that proves English whiskey can rival the world's greatest sherried single malts, not by imitation, but by sheer depth and artistry. Bimber Distillery stands alone at the top of English whiskey for one reason: obsession with every detail from grain to glass. It starts on the malting floor, where barley is spread by hand and turned with wooden shovels, a process most distilleries abandoned decades ago. This malting by hand preserves the grain's natural oils and builds a richer base for fermentation. This method isn't just for show. It preserves the grain's natural oils and builds a richer base for fermentation. Instead of rushing the wash through in 2 days, Bimber lets its fermentation run a full 7 days, coaxing out a burst of fruity esters that would be lost in a hurry. The result is a wash that smells like a fruit market, thick with mango and pineapple notes before it ever touches copper. These tropical aromas are concentrated and unmistakable. Distillation here is old school and risky. Direct fire stills blaze beneath the copper, caramelizing the spirit and creating a waxy, oily mouthfeel you can almost chew. The texture is the payoff, thick, unctuous, and layered with tropical fruit. Every batch is small and every step is hands-on. Bottles vanish within minutes of release, snapped up by collectors and drinkers who know there is nothing else like it. Behind it all is Dariusz Plazewski, a Polish engineer whose refusal to compromise on traditional technique has made Bimber not just the best in England, but a benchmark for craft whiskey worldwide. Across all 10 distilleries, one pattern stands out. English whiskey thrives on freedom, not tradition. With no rigid rules, innovation outpaces imitation. The result is not just novelty, it is world-class spirits redefining the global whiskey map. Right now, England is rewriting what great whiskey can be.